Hello and welcome back to Modalities Movement Therapy. Today we are looking at breath-led movement. So how does breathing support better movement? The way you breathe can have a profound effect on the way you move. When you breathe using the diaphragm, the pelvic floor, the deep abdominal muscles work together to create better movement. So we can refer to this as a natural core activation that will provide a foundation for movement, helping you move with greater control, efficiency, and ease. Your breath helps fuel your movements and helps create stability that supports this movement. So pay attention to how well you can breathe whilst moving. And remember, movement is key. If you don't use it, well, you lose it. For the workout, you're going to need a hard and a soft reflex ball, water, and an extended resistance band. So we're going to start in standing. And as usual, we're going to roll the feet out. So just focus on a nice slow and steady release from the big toe to the heel and across the sole of the foot. Nice and slowly. If this is a little bit too hard, then use the softer reflex ball. If you don't have a soft reflex ball, then you can use a tennis ball. But the little nodules will help create more of a release. They'll help stimulate the neural pathways in the foot, which are attached through the fascia into the rest of the body. So just a nice slow and steady movement. If you are taking any strain in the arch of the foot, focus on that arch. Circle the ball in the different directions, moving around. So if you have tension in a specific spot, perhaps focus on that spot. And what we're going to do throughout the class is focus on the breathing, and we want to work on breathing through the nose. Try and increase that exhalation as we go through the routine. Breathing diaphragmatically, creating that horizontal breath. So let me talk you through that horizontal breath. If you're not familiar with it, you can pop the ball to the side. In standing, just relaxing your arms at your sides. We're going to try and bring our attention down to the diaphragm. So as we breathe in through the nose for 4 counts, bring your hands onto your ribs. If you want to feel the rib cage expanding, those muscles between the ribs, those intercostal muscles, are expanding into an eccentric contraction. Then your exhalation, those muscles will shorten, bringing you into a concentric contraction. And this is our activating, creating movement. Then the pelvic floor is going to move with the breath as you breathe in. Diaphragm is pushing down because the lungs are expanding. This is going to push the belly back, it's going to push the pelvic floor down. And then on the exhalation, that movement is coming back up. So those deep abdominal muscles, activating them with breath as we move. Finish off with one more, breathing in. We're pushing down into that movement, expanding, and then exhale. Feeling that rib cage dropping, 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 dropping. Okay, what we're now going to do is we're going to release the arms. So we're going to take the right hand onto the left and just massage into the palm, up into the fingers. We're going to use the arms quite a bit today, so let's release the arm lines, the deeper arm lines. And you're going to work around into that donkey bite, so squeezing and twisting. And it's a nice slow movement. Try and get a little bit deeper rather than working too quickly. You want to massage that fascia that surrounds the muscles. When you get to the elbow, just hang around here, focus on that joint for a few counts. And you're going to move up over the biceps and the triceps. You can bend the elbow, then you're getting more rotation into the arm, working all the way up. When we get to the deltoid, we're going to start pinching and squeezing. So it's a gentle movement. Just pinch and squeeze. We want to loosen up the superficial fascia. So we're working deep and we're working superficially. You're going to just work around the shoulder. So if you do wear a backpack, if you do wear a shoulder strap over with a handbag, then this fascia gets quite tight and stiff. So we're moving and releasing this area. Work right up underneath your shirt or underneath your t-shirt, right into the shoulder there. Pinching and squeezing, just a gentle massage around there. You can move up onto the neck now, just a gentle massage. So I'm keeping my thumb on the spot and then just massaging around here with the fingertips, moving there. So you're almost anchoring with the thumb and you're loosening up that fascia around this area. Let's move on to the other hand. So taking the left onto the right and just massage up the fingers. You can work around them. Again, identify tension, release the tension. And working now around the wrist, we're going to squeeze and twist. And you're going to take it slow. Focus on a nice deep release, loosening up that fascia. This is going to create more movement as well. So at the elbow, hang around there for a few seconds and move up onto the biceps and the triceps. Okay, working into that superficial fascia. Let's loosen up the deltoid there with the fingertips and the thumb. And then you're going to move up under your t-shirt or under your vest, whatever you're wearing. Just try to work directly onto the skin. And then a little bit up into the neck. So focus on these areas, even a little bit into the upper traps there, just on the superficial fascia there, gently. And pinch and loosen up into the neck, around the front there, that muscle that is responsible for rotating the head. Just gently over there. Okay, let's take the thumbs now. We're going to loosen up around the jaw. So the thumbs underneath the jawline, you're going to slide the thumbs down towards the chin and release. Another way to release your jaw is to yawn. It's a great way to release tension in the jaw that lead into the neck and the shoulders. And now you're going to take the fingertips onto the jaw where the top and the bottom jaw meet. And again, just a little gentle massage. I'm pushing my fingertips into the cheek here and just little circular motions with the fingertips, loosening up here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to anchor the skin. So I'm going to take my fingers from behind my ear along this muscle and I'm going to anchor the skin right around the clavicle at the bone here. Then I'm going to rotate my head and I'm going to extend my bottom jaw. So I'm loosening up not only the jaw but into the neck here, extending the bottom jaw there. And I'm really getting into what we call that tensegrity, that two-directional pull. So we're lengthening in opposite directions, giving that muscle a bit of a release. Finish off with one more. And now you're going to move over to the other side. So you can slide the fingers down that muscle from behind the ear, rotate the head, and then anchor it at the clavicle. And then extend into the rotation a little bit more if you want to. Extend the bottom jaw. Loosen up there. Finish off with 2 more. And the last one. And release. Good. Let's roll the shoulders up and back. Loosening up there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're now going to work a little bit into the back of the neck. So let's use the fingertips and the thumb again. So you're pinching and lifting the skin, just loosening up the neck. So all the way up and down, massaging in there. We're going to work a little bit more with that soft reflex ball around the occiput ridge that we often focus on and into the shoulder blade. So we'll get a little bit deeper into that release as well. But this doesn't have to be a deep movement. Just feel a gentle release around here, and this will help create movement. This is, remember, this is stimulating circulation right into that superficial fascia where we have quite a few nerves that run through. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to move into the lower back. We have an area here that's often quite tight along the spine, and we want to be able to loosen this fascia up as well. So what you can do is you can take the skin, it's the fascia there, and you work towards the spine. So you're pinching between the thumb and the index finger, and you are going to move it around from side to side, up and down. Now take your fingers down the spine, and you might find that it's quite difficult to pinch that skin. If you're very stiff around this area, which often happens if we sit for long periods, we're overextending this area, and that's what makes it quite difficult to loosen it up. If that is the case, then start further out across on either side of the spine and work towards the spine, pinching, and then once you get the skin between the fingers, you can move it around. Go up the spine slightly, and then you can move down towards the tailbone. This will help us move a little bit more into the different positions. We're going to work quite a bit into rotation today. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your fingers again, and we're going to circle the shoulders up and back. Do another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, taking the feet apart, let's rock to one side. So I'm on the lateral side of one foot and on the inside of the other foot. Rock to the other side. So we should be able to move into any direction or into any position. 4, 3, 2, and 1. What you're going to do is continue the same movement. As we rotate, you're going to squat down. So it doesn't have to be a big movement. Reach across to the opposite side and come back up. As we squat, we're breathing in and exhaling. Breathing in and exhaling. Make the movement small if you need to. You can always progress. Exhale and lift. Breathing in. Exhale. Keep going. 4 more. 3, last 2. Breathe in as you squat, exhale as you lift. Good, let's come into another squat position. This time you're going to work into the lateral side of both feet and you're going to bring the big toes together. So we're lifting the arches of the feet up and we're going to breathe in and squat and exhale and lift. Breathe in. Good, keep going and make sure you're sitting back into that squat position. Breathing in and exhaling. 4 to go. And exhale. And 3. Last 2. If you're taking any strain in the feet, then perhaps go back and release them with the reflex ball and then come back into the movement. Taking the feet apart, now we're going to collapse into the center. So we're breathing in again to that squat and exhaling. The feet will rotate slightly in and exhale. Feel what's going on around the lower back. Breathing in. Breathing in. Another 4. And 3. One more. And shake the legs out. Taking the band, but before we take the band, let's just stretch the front of the foot. You're going to hold it in this rotation. You don't have to have it too far away. And you're going to rotate onto the big toe and onto the little toe. So stretching into the front of the ankle. Rotate from side to side. Do another 4. 3. 2. And 1. Same thing to the other side. Rotating little toe to big toe. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Lovely, and just loosen it up and give it a bit of a circle there. We've got the band in hand. Let's extend the arms ahead so you can shorten the band slightly if you want to. The wider the hands are, the easier it's going to be. If you want to make it more challenging, you can bring the hands closer together, but start with the hands nice and wide apart. So just warming up a little bit. We're going to breathe in and stretch across the chest and exhale. So think of that movement, you hugging the spine with the shoulder blades, and exhale. Let's bring a little bit of footwork into it. So we're going to rise up off the heels and exhale. Breathing in, opening up, exhaling, and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. 3 and exhale. And 1 more. Now let's rotate around. So we're going to lengthen into the lateral side, reach the arms around. You're going to open up, you're breathing in, exhaling again. So taking the movement nice and slow, rounding the spine, and come back to the center. Open up and come into your neutral position. Breathe in, let's rotate. So we're changing the direction. You're opening up, breathing in here. Exhaling and circle the arms. Come back to the center, breathing in. Exhaling. Opening up, breathing in. Exhaling. And back to center. Reverse it. Exhale. Open up as much as you can. Exhaling. And back to center. Exhaling. Open up. Let's do another 2. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathe in. And exhale. Finish off. And breathe in. Rotating to one side, just pop those balls to the side, bringing the band onto the big toe. So we're going to keep the band on the big toe, and you're going to take the band, so the middle of the band on the big toe. Take the band in one hand. So I'm on the right foot, I'm going to take the band in the right hand. Try and take the band a little bit lower down, but that's up to you. If you can, you're going to balance on the right foot. But the challenge is keeping the big toe down as we resist with the hand. If you can, lift that foot. If not, you can bring the ball of the foot or just the big toe onto the mat. So challenge yourself really so you can activate these core muscles. Let's breathe in. We're going to drop down. That's your first option. Exhale and come up. So if you can, breathing in, you're dropping down onto your fingertips, keeping that big toe down, come up to standing, breathing in and exhaling. The challenge here is to try and focus on the glutes and on squatting down into that position. Try not to drop the chest too much. You really want to activate the core muscles. Remember, the glutes are part of the core, our biggest muscle group, our hip stabilizers. The stronger these muscles are, the better your balance, the better your core stability. Do another 4. And 3. Two more. And the last one. Okay. From there, we're going to come onto the hands. So just release the band and bring the hands inside your right foot into that lunge position. We're going to bounce in this position. So look at the position of my legs. So see if you can bring your hands slightly back. Push into the ball of that back foot and lift and lower the hips up and down. Now you can continue with this movement. Your next option is to bounce that back foot from one side of your mat to the other. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. We're going to take the hand closest to the foot. So in my case, it's my right hand. I'm going to reach up, bouncing into that open position. Exhale, bring the hand down, rotate, bring the elbow towards the left hand. Breathing in, open up. Let's exhale. Keep going, breathing in and exhaling. We're going to do another 4 and exhale. As you open up that chest, looking up to the ceiling, try and bounce that bottom shoulder towards the right knee. Do another 2 and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Good, lovely. Bring the hand down onto the mat, release the knee and bring that leg back. And we're going to come over to the other side. So we're going to repeat the same movement. Let's bring that foot in front, that left foot. Curl the toes under at the back. We'll start off with this movement and then we go into our lunge, into that balance. And you're going to pulse. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Continue with this movement if you don't want to bounce from side to side. Otherwise, you're going to bounce from one side of the mat to the other. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to center. Take that left hand if you're using the left leg and reach up, breathing in. Bounce that right shoulder across to the knee as well. Exhale. Bring the elbow to the hand, breathing in. And exhale. So if you're opening up, you're creating space. Breathe into that space you're creating. Exhale. Another 4. And exhale. Last 3. And exhale. 2 more. And your last one. Hand on the mat, knee on the mat, and let's take that resistance band again. Bring it onto the big toe. And taking the band in the left hand. Curl your toes under at the back. Push up and bring that foot closer. If you're going to stay on the big toe, go ahead, challenge yourself if you can, and lift that foot, keeping that big toe down. Breathing in, tap the floor, and exhale. Try bend well into that left leg. Exhale. Breathing in for 3, and exhale. Breathe in for 4, and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. 4 to go. And 3. Last 2. So now you're aware of that big toe, how important that big toe is for balance. Last 1. And coming up. You're going to go back into your lunge position. Just drop onto the knee. Curl the toes under. Take the band in half if you can. Similar to what we did when we were standing, we're going to circle the band around the body. Extend the band if you need to. 2 options here. If you can, challenge yourself coming off that back knee. So I'm left foot in front, right knee behind, just hovering a few centimeters off the mat. If it becomes too challenging, just drop onto the knee, but see if you can stay in that lifted position. And as you breathe in, you're in this position. Then you're going to circle the upper body around. Make the movement small to start. You're breathing in. Reverse the movement. Exhale. Around. And breathing in. Here we go for 3. Exhaling. And breathing in. Exhaling. Breathing in. So as you open up, again you're creating that space. 3 more. As you're exhaling, shortening the space around the rib cage. You're coming into that concentric contraction. So exhale into it. You're finishing off with 1 more. And breathe in. Drop onto the knee. Release the foot. Bring both knees side by side. And extend your arms forward again. So just remember which leg was in front. You're going to breathe in. We're lengthening back and giving the quads a bit of a stretch. So increasing the stretch along the quads. Breathing in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Cushion your knees if you need to. Breathing in. And remember, you're hinging from the hips. So from the knee, sorry, not the hips, the knees. You're hinging from the knees, leaning back into the position. So be careful that this is not happening. Lengthening back there. You're going to finish with 1 more. Breathing in and exhaling. Lengthen the band out. And you're going to bring it along the back arm line. So shortening the band if you need to. Otherwise, you can just bring the excess band into the hands. And we're going to round the spine. So same movement, exhaling to tuck. Now fling yourself forward. If you're not comfortable on the knees, you can come into a seated position. So this is your option. Exhaling and inhaling. But if you can, stay on the knees, cushion them if you need to, and you're rounding. We're shortening the distance between the rib cage, so this is your exhalation. Now you're opening up, creating space, breathe into it. Exhale. And open up. And exhale. And open up. Keep going for more. And breathe in. And 3. Last 2. And 1 more. And breathe in. Come back onto the knees and bring the right foot forward now. Shorten the band or bring it half in half and hold each end. Curl the toes under on the left foot. If your right foot is in front, push up off the knee. Stay on the knee if you need to. And in this position, let's circle the band, breathing in and exhaling. Reverse it. Breathe in. So breathing has changed slightly. Exhaling. Breathing in. And exhale. Breathing in. And exhale. 4 more. Breathing in. And exhale. Drop onto the knee if you need to. And opening up. Try and take it nice and slow. Finish off. 2 more. And your last one. And exhale. Drop back onto the knee. Release the other leg. And let's have a quick break. Have a drink of water. So you might feel a little bit of burning in the front of that leg that you were stretching. We're now going to lie forward on the mat. And we're going to take the reflex ball, actually not forward, but into a side lying position. You're going to extend the bottom leg, bring the top foot either behind or you can bring it in front, and position the ball so it's in line with the hip bone. You can bend that knee or extend it, whatever feels better. And we're going to massage around the glutes there. So you can work from side to side. So if you find the hip bone and work along the hip bone, we look working along that bony process, the posterior sacroiliac spine. If you want to bend the knee, that's also an option. And as I said, the leg can also be extended. You can move the ball around. So let's look for tension and address that tension by massaging this area. If your tension is slightly higher up, you can move around this area. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, from there, we're going to position the reflex ball between the spine and the shoulder blade. So I'm on my right side. I'm going to support my head in my left hand. Position the ball. And we usually circle the arm. Today we're just going to bring it up next to the ear, up and down, and from side to side. So just moving the arm around, you're going to get that release where it's needed there. If you're not feeling much, play around with the position of the ball. Maybe slightly higher, slightly lower down. You're bound to have some tension around this area that needs releasing. Let your breathing normalize and move that arm around. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep supporting the head in the left hand. Bring the ball into the right hand and massage along the occiput ridge, so in line with the earlobe, or maybe slightly higher where you feel that bony process. And you can also push and twist like you're squeezing a lemon underneath the occiput ridge. That bony process, you may find you have quite a bit of tension. Just push and twist into it, and it's a gentle release. Rolling, if you want to, along the occiput ridge where you feel that tension. Finish off, and we're going to move over to the other side. We're going to start at the base again, around the glutes. You can bring your leg into an extended position, or you can just bend the knee and massage around this area. Keep going. Another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking the ball, we're now going to move along up to the shoulder blade, between the shoulder blade and the spine. Rest your head in your right hand, so I'm on the left side, and we're going to extend the arm and cross it over, up and down. Move that arm around as much as you can, loosening up this area where we carry a lot of tension. You can bounce the arm out. You can bounce it across the body. You can bounce it down where you feel you're getting a good release. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring the ball onto the occiput ridge. So keep supporting your head in the other hand, and you're rolling the ball with the opposite hand. You push and twist into that release, just underneath the occiput ridge, along the bone, wherever you're feeling that tension. Keep going. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and finish off with one more. Release the reflex ball, and let's lengthen the body into a nice extended position, and breathe in. Lengthen out, have a nice big yawn and stretch. If you haven't released all that tension, the yawn will help with that. From this position, we're going to hug the knees into the chest, bounce the knees to the chest, and cross your ankles. Hold on to the feet. Let's rock from side to side. Okay, try and keep your legs in this position. Rock yourself up to a seated position onto your hands and knees. Curl your toes under, and let's lower down into that prone position. You're going to take the reflex ball now, or you can take the band, whatever you need, and extend the arms. And you're going to circle the arms around the back, bring the ball or the band into the opposite hand, extend the arms. So as you breathe in, think about the breath as you expand the diaphragm. Well, as you expand around the waist, the diaphragm pushing down, you're going to breathe into that lifted position. That's going to help you lift up. And then extend the arms. Breathing in, nod the head so you're not taking any strain in the neck. Those rhomboids, those muscles on either side of the spine, hugging the spine as you go, breathing in, they're the ones that should be doing the work. Finish off with 3 more. 2 more. And we're going to change the direction of that movement. Breathing in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. 4 to go. And 3. For the last one. Release the ball. If you have been using the ball, you're now going to take the band in your hands, shorten the band, so fold it in half. Similar movement to what we've just done. So if you need to just take a break, sit back into child's pose, rest your forehead on the mat, and just focus again on your breathing. So a nice slow, steady breath in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Another 2, breathing in and focus longer on the exhalation. And 1 more. Let's lower forward onto the mat again, taking the band in each hand, Walk your hands closer together if you can, and we're going to rotate the little fingers to the ceiling. So we want to activate the back arm line in line with the little fingers, leading all the way up to the rhomboids that are hugging the spine. So as you breathe in, similar movement, you're breathing in, creating space, open up and pulse. Then exhale. Lower all the way down to the mat and relax your forehead on the mat. Breathing in and exhale. Here we go for 3. Take a break if you need to and go into your child's pose. 4 to go. And exhale. Two more. And your last one. Pop the band to the side, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, or sorry, not under the shoulders, under your forehead, and wiggle the hips from side to side. So this movement, loosening up the spine between the shoulder blades into the neck. Try to relax your upper body as much as you can. And we're going to finish off with some rotations. Soles of the feet together. I'm going to take my right ear into the mat first, bringing the arms in line with the shoulders, palms facing down. You're going to use the palms to assist you. As you breathe in, let's go over to the right side. So you're going to bend the left elbow and bring the hand onto the mat. That's going to assist you breathing in and rocking up to this position. So soles of the feet stay glued together. And then you're going to slowly lower down onto the mat. Extend the left arm, rotate the head so the left ear is on the mat. Bring the right hand onto the mat, pushing into the palm. You're going to breathe in and you're going to open up. Now, if you can, you're going to take that top hand or the hand on the mat and open it up so you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. If you're not comfortable in this position, you can extend your arm next to your ear and then challenge yourself by bringing the palms together and the arms next to the ears. Bring your right hand back onto the mat. Using the hand, control the movement down. You're going to bring your left hand onto the mat. Extend the right arm next to the ear or in line with the shoulder if you want to. Soles of the feet stay glued together. Engage and breathe in. Hover, let the legs hover, and then if you can, bring your arms next to the ears, palms together. Otherwise, you just keep that hand on the mat. Lower down again. If your arms are next to your ears, you need to bring the hand onto the mat. Otherwise, you're going to flop down onto the mat. Extend, rotate the other way. Keep going, breathing in and together. Reach, opening up. And down we go. Finish off with one more. Breathing in. Lower it down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Soles of the feet stay together. Push back onto your hands and knees. Stretch back into child's pose. Rest your forehead on the mat and just relax into your stretch. Breathing in and out.
Breathing in and exhaling. Finish off with one more, breathing in and exhaling. Bring your hands onto the mat and let's bring the knees side by side. Curl the toes under. You can take the hands slightly forward and push up into your pyramid or down dog. Walk through the feet. And bounce the heels down, chest towards the thighs. And when you're ready, walk your hands to your feet. And you're stacking one vertebra on top of the other as you breathe in, uncurling and stack those vertebrae. Let's swing the arms around the body. And shake everything out. One last breath in, palms together, and exhale. And well done. Thank you for joining me. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe.